Welcome to Top M&A Entrepreneurs, the very first episode of an acquisition entrepreneur seeking funding. Today, my guest is Dutch Connor. Dutch, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Hi, my name is Dutch Connor. I'm a self-searching funder, and I've been in the service industry for over 30 years. Owned my own HVAC business for 10 years, started from the ground up, and sold that in 2016. I'm looking to get back into the HVAC industry, and I have a acquisition under LOI that is, I'm seeking $700,000 for in equity to purchase.
Fantastic. So, Dutch, let's go to the pitch deck and talk about that a little bit. Your company name is Trusted Service Company. Is that correct?
That is correct. Trusted Service Company.
All right. And here's the deal overview. Tell me a little bit about this.
The deal overview. This is an HVAC, commercial HVAC and refrigeration company that has a focus on food, commercial food equipment, which makes it a great business to acquire because there's no seasonal fluctuations.
Okay.
So it's in Arizona. It was started in 1997, 96, 27 years old, C Corp, and they have about 16 employees. The sales are 2.5, 2.46.
Yeah.
And they have a great reviews across the board. The multiples are a little high at 5.5, and the reason for that is because we have a substantial seller note. I realize it's a little high there, but 5.5 is what we came to agreement on.
What's the amortization on that and the interest rate?
Okay, so the interest rate is 5.25 at 5 years.
Okay.
And it's a $2.9 million acquisition.
Okay.
There is some working capital in there as well. So it looks like 5.5. So because the seller is leaving $350,000 in working capital.
Okay. All right. Let's go to the LOI. So tell me a little bit about this.
The LOI, this is a stock transaction.
Okay. So why stock versus asset purchase agreement? Because with the asset purchase agreement, you take it over, you can depreciate the assets. Tell me why it's a stock.
I understand. So with a stock sale, the reason I chose to go a stock sale on this particular acquisition is because the licensing, the contractor license requires a qualifying party or somebody to be on that license that knows the industry. So because I've been out of it for a little while, I left that on there, and I chose to do a stock agreement so that it gives me time. I can just step right into the business and kind of take over from there. And then maybe, down the road, we can adjust a qualifying party and do it that way.
Okay. And down payment is $700,000.
There's a down payment at close of $700,000 in cash.
And what's this $500,000 deferred down payment?
So the $500,000 deferred down payment is due within 90 days of closing.
And where are you going to get that money?
And it's deferred. So that is going to be through a couple of means. It's going to be through some of the cash in the business as well as some debt, a little bit of debt, short-term debt, nothing substantial.
Okay. So I'm looking down here. Working capital. Seller agrees to leave $200,000. Seller maintains 10% equity in the business. So you're actually just buying 90% of the business.
Yeah. So I'm buying 90% of the business, and it's $350,000 in working capital.
Okay, great. And seller agrees to leave $100,000 in receivables.
$100,000 in receivables, which should cover some of the expenses that were prior to when I take over.
All right. And you're signing a personal guarantee for this.
I am signing a personal guarantee for the $1.7 million that I'm financing. Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's go to the historical financial performance. So total sales 2020 $1.8 million, increased probably to 1.9 in 2021, and then 2.4 million in 2022. That's a pretty big jump for a local HVAC company. $500,000. What was the reason for that? Do you know?
there was more restaurants that came in and doing a lot more walk-in installs and service and everything would just kind of kicked up. So 2021, you have to remember that some of that COVID, and, people are still a little leery about going out to the restaurants. 2020, definitely some of the restaurants were closed down. So, and it's not all of the business is not the restaurants, but it is a substantial part of it. So they did very well considering they were closed in.
Yeah, you're talking about restaurants. You're talking about the freezers in these restaurants, from fast food restaurants to sit-down restaurants, right?
Well, I'm not talking about just restaurants. I'm talking about any commercial food equipment. Could be hotels, could be grocery stores, could be retirement home communities, could be any of that. You name it that has a kitchen in it. So
Yeah.
and
All right.
that's the main focus right there.
So let's take a look at the owner's salary. He took 367 in 2020, 311 in 2021, December 2020. Now this matches up with the IRS document 1125, right? These are okay.
That's where we pulled those numbers from.
So the wife's salary is $89,000. Now, does she work in the business? Does she do anything in the business? And why is this kind of an add back?
She does not work in the business. She just takes a salary. She used to work in the business, hasn't worked in it for, 7 years now. And the owner himself works literally maybe 20 hours a week. He's just kind of overseeing and doing payables. And that's about it. So he's really not involved in the business full time. Just so you're aware of that.
So it looks like with those add backs, it looks like there's no more add backs. I'm pretty sure there probably is. So this was up to $519,000 in SDE.
Now there's quite a bit of other add backs that I just didn't verify yet. Is health insurance, life insurance that he has, vehicle maintenance of his own vehicles. And the perks of just owning a business. Those are
that's right. Yeah,
the vehicle we purchased through the business, things like that. So,
all right. So let's go to the balance sheet. Take a look at that. Current assets, got a lot of cash in the bank. $595,000 as of June 14th. Is that still accurate?
That is. It's actually higher now. It's up in the 750, 775 range.
All right. Accounts receivable, 254. How old is that accounts receivable? What's the aging report on that?
So most of it is within 90 days.
Okay.
Most of it is actually within 30 days. And then there is a little bit in 60 and 90 days. Nothing over that that hasn't been collected. So.
All right. So you don't have a lot of liability. Total liability is $172,000. What is that?
Part of that is vehicles that he purchased. And
okay.
Which were
how many vehicles does he have
for this business? 12 vehicles.
12 vehicles. So that's going to have long-term liabilities. Yeah.
Yeah. There were long-time liability, and he only, as far as debt goes, there's literally $60,000 on the vehicles owed.
Yeah.
Which is $55,000. Sorry. Which is at close.
Yeah.
So the company will become debt-free at that point, completely debt-free. And will be no other payments due. Other than operational expenses, obviously, you can't get out of that. So.
Yeah, so these are the current KPIs on the business. Net profit margin, 8.63, gross profit. That's net income. That's not the SDE net profit margin, right?
Correct.
Okay. Return on assets, 18%. Return on equity, 21%. I'm going to assume that you can improve these ratios, KPIs?
Absolutely. There's lots of room for improvement. And he himself, the seller, has admitted that, he just doesn't have the energy anymore to move on. He's retiring.
Okay.
For the sale. So he just doesn't have the energy, and he's looking forward to having somebody younger like me come in and bring a lot more energy to the organization. And there are a lot of things that I would not change, but add to do better.
So, all right. So what's your competitive advantage for this business? What makes it unique, defensible? I can see it's got a 27-year history, A+ BBB. Tell me a little bit about why is it the largest commercial? What is?
Well, it's the largest in the commercial food equipment repair industry here in Tucson.
Yeah.
Southern Arizona, I should say, because, and here's why, because of it has the age behind it, and they have a lot of substantial not contracts, but customers that has just been stuck with them over the years and just continue to do business with them.
Yeah. Arby's is nationwide. Baggins, I don't think is. I don't know. EG's is kind of a Tucson thing. That's a great headache producing machine.
Yes.
EG's. Desert Toyota, Desert
There's
Museum.
Toyota. They have, HVAC there. So there's a lot of room for improving the commercial HVAC side of this business, as well as commercial food equipment.
Now, these are all multi-location, right?
Yes, that is
All
correct.
right. Lobby Hobby, IHOP, Little Caesars, Marival. What's Marival?
Miraval is a resort.
All right. And you do Pepsi's? Pepsi, there's only one huge distributor location here, right?
Right. So
Yeah.
it could be on these, I'm not completely sure, but could be just AC units on their warehouses. It could be anything of the equipment repair. There's lots of different avenues.
Yeah, looks like it's just a sample because you have 40 plus long term. University of Arizona, Village Inn, Westin La Paloma. By the way, that's a resort, and Wiener Schnitzel.
Yes.
Cool. Fantastic. So what's the future story here? What are you going to do first after you acquire it?
The first thing I'm going to do is increase prices. There are going to be 3 increases that are going to cover my salary. So it won't be coming from any profit that's already there. There's going to be 5% increases.
All right.
It's well needed, and it could be even more than that. I'm going to test the market and see how we can go with that. So that will be the very first thing to do day one. So, and it's not in here, but I'm going to evaluate the business for 2 months before I make any additions or changes. There won't be any substantial changes, but changes to the business. That way I can get to know the techs and the staff.
Yeah. Well, what is this? Tell me a little bit more about this. Add more techs and in-house training. What is that in-house training designed to do?
So the in-house training designed to do is bring in low-level technicians or people that are good with their hands, bring them in and train them in the way we do things from the start. The problem with the complete industry, plumbing, any of the trades, is just finding people. So if you can find people that have good skills talking to people and good communication skills and have a knowledge of using tools, then those are the perfect people to bring in and train them to. And they would start out as a maintenance tech, maybe doing small things, and then move up from there. That would be the way I would do that as far as the in-house training. That's something you absolutely have to have in a service business.
Just kind of be more social, be more talkative. What do you mean by that? Communication.
Communicative. When I say communicative, I mean be able to talk to the clients, talk to the people, the managers, cooks, whoever they're dealing with, in a business manner. To communicate what they need to have done in a way that they're going to understand, and build relationships, because that's what business is all about.
Yeah. And you're going to add sales. And the long term, your goal is to do what here? Acquire more of these?
Yeah. So there's more short term things. Is obviously at a GM. I'm looking at the 3 to 6 month time frame. My long term is to acquire more similar businesses around the middle part and over part of the country to grow this into a semi-national brand, as well as a national leader.
All right. So we talked about that. Who you are. So you ran your own HVAC company, owner, CEO for 10 years. How big did that get?
That we grew to close to 2 million. It wasn't quite as large as this one, but pretty darn close.
All right. And why did you sell it?
I sold that because I was in a pretty severe accident, unfortunately, in 2016, and put me down for quite some time. So unfortunately, that was my only option at the time. I kind of regret it, but that's what I needed to do at the time.
Right. And are you healed and recovered from that injury?
I'm healed and recovered and better than before.
All right. Fantastic. So here we go. Here's the big one, the ask. What are you looking for?
I am looking for $700,000 in equity.
Yep.
It could be participating preferred coupon, 8 to 12% compounded annually. Liquidation preference at 5 to 7 years is what I'm looking at. And then we can do a equity step up. which could start at 1.5. Now that's negotiable. So being negotiable, I am looking to take any offers, honestly.
Fantastic. Dutch, how do they get in touch with you?
They can get in touch with me by email, pdcinvesting@gmail.com, or by phone or text 520-444-7488.
Fantastic. Dutch Connor, thank you so much for sharing your opportunity with us.
Thank you, John. I appreciate it.